The movie starts off by showing a group of terrorists about to kill some American nations. They take them through the boat to the beach, and at the same time, the colonel gets this news and arranges his team for this operation at the place, and he and his assistant was digging all the necessary informations back in office. Officer Miller, the leader of a sniper team, takes charge and positions his team members strategically to take out the terrorists. The terrorists have a twisted motive of filming the killing of the hostages as a means of seeking revenge against the Americans. However, before taking any action, Miller's team patiently awaits orders from their commander. So here they get sure all the hostages are Americans, so they confirm the information to the field missionaries about to fight to go ahead. To everyone's surprise, the team receives an unexpected order. One of the terrorists, who happens to be a young boy, is commanded to kill one of the hostages. Beckett, a member of Miller's team, hesitates when he is given the order to shoot. Sensing the hesitation, Miller redirects his command to Barnes, instructing him to take the shot immediately instead. Unfortunately, Barnes misses his target, causing alarm among the terrorists. In response, the terrorists retaliate by murdering one of the captives. However, their escape is short-lived, as they are swiftly eliminated by a combination of a combat helicopter and the sniper squad. Although the primary objective of eliminating the terrorists is accomplished, tragically, one of the hostages loses their life in the process. Miller contacts Beckett to discuss the incident and seeks an explanation. Beckett assures Miller. Later, in Istanbul, Turkey, Cervantes and Rojas gather with Beckett and Angst on a pier to celebrate their successful mission. As they indulge in the festivities, Angst brings up their previous mission, which unsettles Beckett and makes him feel uneasy. She accuses him of freezing up in that situation, which prompts Beckett to separate himself from the group and seek solace by drinking his beer alone. Cervantes notices Beckett's distress and approaches him, offering words of comfort and advising him to relax and let go of the tension. Beckett expresses his gratitude for Cervantes' support and expresses his desire for some time alone. As Cervantes departs, Beckett catches the attention of a woman who glances at him before walking away. Intrigued, Beckett decides to pursue her and engages in flirtatious banter, initiating a conversation about their activities in Istanbul. Unbeknownst to Beckett, a suspicious individual observes their encounter from a distance. This person discreetly ascends the rooftop of an abandoned building, retrieves a sniper rifle, and aims it in Beckett's direction, potentially posing a threat to his safety. Luckily, Bidwell, who is a significant figure in Beckett's team, manages to shoot the sniper. Immediately, he calls Beckett and arranges a meeting with him. While Beckett is engaged in conversation with Bidwell, he fails to notice that the woman has left. Later, Beckett and Bidwell come together and warn Beckett that the sniper is planning to kill him, advising him to be cautious in the future. Miller updates Beckett about the Syria operation, and Beckett shares his hesitation due to the presence of a child among the terrorists. Bidwell suggests that having a conscience is not a negative trait, but it shouldn't cloud Beckett's judgment. Following that, the team assembles to meet the colonel for their upcoming mission, which involves securing a gas pipeline in Georgia from terrorist threats. To Beckett's surprise, the woman he encountered at the pier reappears, introducing herself as Slater and taking charge of the operation. Their objective is to eliminate enemy snipers, while Slater provides them with drone support. The following day, the team arrives at the pumping station in Georgia, and Slater provides a detailed explanation of the procedure. Their objective is to protect Killian Grun, who will be present at the station for a 2-hour period within an oil tank haven called Killian Grun. Gazikov, the leader of the terrorists, leads his group in an assault against Killian. The team takes up their assigned positions outside the station and initiates the operation. During the battle, Angst notices a sudden burst of light in the distance and alerts the rest of the team, but unfortunately it's too late. The terrorists' anti-tank sniper manages to shoot one of Killian's bodyguard vehicles, prompting the remaining bodyguards to retaliate and engage the terrorists. Amidst the chaos, a sharpshooter spots Roges and Angst. Tragically, Roges is killed by the sniper, but the others are unable to locate the sniper's position. In response, Slater employs her drones to provide aerial guidance, as it becomes evident that the enemy sniper is receiving assistance in targeting their team. During the intense confrontation, Mainz falls victim to the enemy sniper, and one of the terrorists gains the upper hand over Killian's bodyguard. When a terrorist is detected on the radar, the commanding colonel issues the order to launch missiles towards the direction of the attack. While Angst and Beckett attempt to provide medical aid to Roges's neck injury, her condition worsens, and despite Killian's men defending him, she succumbs to her injuries due to excessive blood loss. Following the intense battle, Miller, Slater, and their team explore the area where the terrorists utilize the anti-tank sniper to scatter the remains of Gazikov's brother-in-law. Beckett, filled with disbelief, directs blame towards Colonel Sergei, suspecting that he may have provided the terrorists with crucial information. As doubts start to arise regarding Sergei's loyalty, Beckett begins to suspect an imminent ambush. Colonel Sergei assigns Beckett a mission to a station located in the highlands, accompanied by Sajid and a member member of the upcoming team Beckett is about to join. Their task is to safeguard a pipeline. Upon reaching the station house, they encounter a group of Russian men. Beckett is the only one among them who engages in immediate combat upon arrival at the station. Andrei, the commander of the Russian group, is taken aback by Beckett's impressive skills and orders a halt to the fighting. Everyone gathers outside as Andrei narrates how Beckett came to be a part of their team. In response to receiving a reprimand for his disobedience, Beckett reveals his suspicion that there is a traitor in Georgia leaking information to the terrorists. While Beckett's friends were lost in the process, no casualties were sustained among the Georgian soldiers. Before taking action against the Georgians, Andrei advises Beckett to gather further evidence on the traitor. Additionally, he expresses his desire to uncover the identity of the person responsible for his comrades' deaths and to make them explain how they acquired their positions. Andrei and his team monitor a listening station and discover that Chechen thieves are stealing from it. The thieves arrive armed, and Andrei wants to kill them all, but Beckett disagrees and suggests subduing them instead. Andrei asks Beckett to demonstrate how to subdue them, and the rest of the team supports Beckett. Andrei prepares to attack, but Beckett tries to negotiate with the thieves. However, their suspicious movements make Andrei shoot and kill all of them except one for interrogation. Later that night, Andrei and Beckett discuss their past. Andrei reveals that he has been in Beckett's situation before, as a child involved in combat. He shares a disturbing experience where a child hid an explosive and killed Andrei's comrades. The following day, Sajid identifies terrorists in the mountains, suspecting them to be Chechens planning to liberate their captive. They promptly start setting up bombs and preparing for combat. Andrei and his team defend the station, while everyone else gets into position. Beckett and Sajid provide sniper support from behind the rocks. Soon, the Chechens attack the station, firing indiscriminately and setting off their explosives. Despite Andrei's team's defense, they are left vulnerable when an RPG hits the station. When Beckett is spotted by the Chechens, they fire an RPG at him and Sajid, but they manage to dodge it. Beckett lands safely and begins to look for Andrei. Concurrently, Sajid turns his back on them, scheming to assassinate Beckett in order to align with them. Subsequently, they seize Andrei with the intention of executing him. Luckily, Beckett intervenes in the nick of time, firing at everyone, including Sajid, without a second thought, thereby rescuing Andrei. Following this, Andrei expresses his admiration for Beckett's decisiveness in shooting Sajid, leading to the conclusion of Beckett's probation. On his return to the base, Beckett is promptly assigned to rendezvous with Mothurst in Georgia. He collects the ashes of Gazikov's brother-in-law to facilitate a meeting with Gazikov and gather information about their intelligence source. The next day, Mothurst joins him en route to Gazikov's place, with a drone providing them assistance. The drone detects the presence of adversaries but fails to identify them. Shortly after, they encounter Gazikov's associates, and Mothers hands over the remains. Finally, Beckett inquires about the source of the coordinates of their sniper team. Nevertheless, he remains skeptical of the terrorists' assertion that their information was a divine revelation. Gazikov unexpectedly confronts them, asserting their honesty. Observing the terrorists in a state of panic, the colonel intervenes and launches a missile to protect his troops. Beckett spots a terrorist armed with a tomboy and a satellite uplink. Shortly thereafter, their location is bombarded by the missile. Fortuitously, Beckett and Mothurst manage to evade the explosion in time. Upon their return to the base, Slater seeks an explanation for their encounter with Gazikov. Beckett informs her that he observed the terrorists with a tombook outfitted with a satellite uplink, leading him to suspect that it was used to determine their coordinates. The colonel contacts Beckett via Slater's mobile phone and instructs him to resume his duties with his team and protect Killian. The next day, as Beckett reaches the pumping station in Georgia, he is greeted by Cervantes, who informs him that the rest of the team has embarked on a mission to the highlands, having discovered Gazikov's location. They quickly join their team, with Beckett foreseeing the potential risks of the operation, aware that their coordinates have been compromised. In the Kutaisi region, Miller, Barnes, and Ungst are stationed in the highlands, offering long-distance support to the infantry. As drones patrol the skies, the terrorists manage to locate Miller and the other snipers. In an attempt to divert the snipers, the terrorists target one of the infantrymen. An enemy sniper attempts to strike Ungst but fails. Ungst swiftly communicates the terrorists' location to the White House. When Ungst is hit in the shoulder, Barnes rushes to her side to provide immediate medical assistance. Beckett and Cervantes arrive just in time, instructing Miller to remove his GPS-enabled vest. However, when the foot soldiers arrived at the White House, the terrorists were nowhere to be found. Slater and Sergei arrive at the scene and begin to survey the area. Beckett brings up the issue of the drone once again, expressing his concerns, but Slater remains unconvinced. However, Miller and Sergei start to give Beckett's assertion some serious thought. Later, at the operating base, Beckett and the rest of the team replenish their ammunition supplies. It is then that Miller reveals a problem with the drone's GPS, shortly after meeting with the colonel and Miller's crew. Furthermore, Miller discloses that Gazikov's home in Kutaisi was was actually a trap. Miller starts to believe in Beckett's theory and supports him. The colonel takes all of this information into consideration and gives the team new instructions. He reveals their next mission, which is to eliminate Gazikov and his troops. According to satellite images, Gazikov is planning to launch an attack on the station the following day. As dusk approaches, reinforcements are expected to arrive to handle the remaining terrorist prisoners under Gazikov's control. Miller expresses concern about the possibility of terrorists being able to detect the presence of drones, but Slater dismisses the notion as unlikely. Following the colonel's orders, they prepare for the imminent attack and are instructed not to rely on their GPS devices. Miller's group, led by him, reaches their intended destination. Since the station is exposed and vulnerable, Beckett cautions Miller that the attack might take place today instead of tomorrow, based on his intuition and uneasy feeling about the mission. However, Miller assures him that he observed Gazikov's movements as they approached the base, relying on satellite images. In response, Beckett shares his suspicion that the coordinates they received were obtained through the drone network, and he convinces Miller that the information they received could potentially be falsified or unreliable. Without delay, they make their way back to the station. Concurrently, Gazikov initiates a fierce attack within the station, leaving a handful of unprepared soldiers in their path. In due course, the colonel and Slater call upon the base for additional troops. Miller, along with others, promptly arrive to back up the soldiers. As the enemy sharpshooters become aware of their presence, they begin their search. Beckett shoots the terrorist who has the tom book in his possession. He eventually locates Gazikov and eliminates him, causing the terrorist to retreat as the conflict draws to an end. Beckett then reunites with Cervantes Angston Barnes. The colonel informs them that he will be their field operator from this point forward. At the pier, Slater awaits Beckett's apology for questioning his initial claim about the drone issue. She agrees to have a drink with Beckett, as he doesn't object to it, and the movie ends here. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.